Well, Matt and I have
I just stand up.
known each other for quite a few years.
Yeah.
I would urge all of you to take a tour. Go down to Sparta, Wisconsin. It's not that far. Because what you're going to notice as you go through your tour, the spirit of the employees, Matt has placed the spirit into them. And it's just, it's a beautiful experience to have, guys. So take the time and do it. Thank you.
Matt, are both factories in Sparta?
Yes, both factories are in Sparta. Yep.
Thank you.
Next to each other, actually.
Question here. Since you are doing, obviously, the Lord's work with the proceeds and what He has given you,
Right.
how are you guarding yourself against, the evil one who I'm sure puts you on his A list to divert you from what you're doing?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's the Bible says die to yourself daily, and that really boils down to all of us. We need to. When I wake up, I say, God, without you, I can do nothing. With you, I can do anything. And I would prefer to be working with you, obviously, than not working with you. And God, I just give you all of me, not 80%, 100% today. And God, I know that you don't need me. I know that your success does not hinge on me. However, I would just love to be doing something that you're working on, and if you can plug me in, that'd be great. I remember one of my boys, I got 3 boys, and they're all grown now. But I remember when they were like 2, they were toddling around, and they weren't earning their room and board, They were not. Pretty much just eating and booming, screaming, and then checking out what I was doing, right? And that blessed me. They'd come over and toddle over and see what I was working on, and they'd be a lot of times in the way, but I just delighted in the fact that they wanted to be with me. And I'd ask them if I needed a screwdriver. I was laying on the floor, something like that. Hey, could you hand me that screwdriver? And the look on their face was just powerful for me. I was just like, oh, I love this. I love the fact that he wants to be doing stuff with me, even though I can do it better. I just love the fact that he wants to be involved in what I'm doing. I think that's probably the healthiest picture we can all have, is realizing that God's success does not hinge on any one of you. But God desires that you would work in His work, be a part of what He's doing. And so that's something I kind of daily get up. I just say, God, I just need to help me stay focused. One interesting thing is I grew up in this family of 7. I'm the second oldest, 7 kids. And we just always needed money. I mean, we just were always broke. And, always about to lose the house, always about to lose the van. And I got to the point where I really despised money. I have to admit it, as funny as that sounds, I hated the fact that we needed money to try to be happy. I thought how terrible that is, that this stuff has kind of this power over us. And so I kind of grew up hating money, and I find it interesting now that God has blessed me and put me in a position to be making, obviously good funds. And I have no problem giving it away because I really don't love it. And so if you love money, you might actually not be put in a position to handle a lot of it. That's how I see it. God is looking for reluctant leaders. This is how I see it. He's not looking for people that just want to lead for the sake of leading. He's just looking for people who want to be a part of what He's doing. And I remember, I will say this, that I remember seeing a guy in my life that he was very smart, very capable, but that 10% of selfishness would always win in the end. 90% genius, 10% selfishness, and that 10% selfishness was always going to win. And it always kind of wrecked and derailed his plans. And I remember thinking as a teenager, you know what? It's because he's wanting to be important. That's what's derailing him. So I realized, okay, I think God's helping me understand what I need to do here. Forget about being important. Just do what's important. And sometimes doing what's important is not necessarily the most convenient thing for you, or the best thing as far as comfort for you. But if you look around and you're always doing the things that matter the most, what you'll find is that people trust you, and people, you end up by default becoming a person of, I hate to use the word importance because I don't like that word, but you become a person that people go to get things done because you're trustworthy. I mean, if you think about it, Moses was a reluctant leader. Would you agree? Amen. You know, why would God use a guy that's got a speech impediment? Certainly there's somebody else, right? King David was a reluctant leader. There was a lot of reluctant leaders. The reluctant leader is not one that's trying to get glory. A reluctant leader is someone who says, okay, I can do that. I'm not really wanting to do that, but if that's what you want me to do, and if I accept it, I'm going to give it my 100%. I'm going to get the job done, and I'm backing out, you know. And I've read some books. I think, Mark, you had given me the name of one book where they were talking about the top leaders in the world, as far as company leaders, were actually, and this is all hit me in the head, and I'm going, well, here it is. But it was basically saying the best leaders are ones in the companies that leave the company with as good or better than they were themselves. And so they're not trying to just make themselves look good. In fact, many of them are almost invisible. People don't even know their names of some of the top companies. Would you agree?
Agreed.
Yeah. Do you remember the name of that book?
Leadership is an art.
Leadership.
Next to pray.
Leadership is an art. So anyway,